On the Doctor Who Christmas special, Clara served up a turkey. So did Steven Moffat. There are spoilers ahead, although I would argue you can't spoil a show that was such a mess to begin with. One of the standard tropes of stories about immortals, and face it, barring a ratings collapse, the Doctor is an immortal, is their pain at watching their mortal companions grow old and die. Now, Doctor Who doesn't usually get to visit this trope since the cast changes are so frequent, but Tom McRae wrote an episode called The Girl Who Waited for Series 6, and that one contrived to have a version of Amy grow old. Steven Moffat, who likes nothing better than to be clever with us, contrived to reverse that trope. But how do you tell a story where the immortal grows old and dies while the mortal companion suffers the grief? Oh, you can almost imagine Moffat chuckling to himself when he solved that one. You trap the immortal under siege somewhere, and you send the companion away in the TARDIS so she can pop in every few hundred years. Of course, that solution creates a new problem. The reason sidekicks are so useful is they give the hero someone to talk to, so they can explain things to the audience. But if Clara is away, we have the Doctor mumbling to himself. Oh wait, wasn't there a Tom Hanks movie where he talked to a volleyball? Let's give the Doctor a volleyball. No, a Cyberman head. Oh, that's clever. Moffat had a further problem to solve, of course, a problem embedded in the mythology of the series. It's established that the character can regenerate, but it's also established that there's a fixed limit to the number of regenerations possible, and over the course of 50 years, the show managed to use up that limit. So now what? Oh, and one final problem to solve? His convoluted plotting over the course of 3 series and 6 specials left Moffat with a number of loose ends to tie up. Trenzalore, the silence, the crack in the universe. The oldest question, Doctor Who? If that weren't enough balls to juggle, how about bringing in all of the Doctor's alien foes for a bow? Well, I'll tell you why not, because A, you've done it before with the Pandorica, and B, it really makes for a boring story where you have to contrive a little bit for the Cybermen, a little bit for the silence, something for the Daleks. You wind up with a variety show, not a story. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Weeping Angels! Oh, were they scary or what? And now for your Whovian enjoyment, let's bring out a couple of Sontarans to do a little shtick and then we'll blow them up. Writing for the screen is very much a matter of solving puzzles. You have a certain number of notes you need to hit, and then you somehow have to thread them all together into a coherent melody. Moffat gave himself a whole warehouse full of puzzle pieces to fit in. I think the results were contrived and labored. Now, when the Greeks, who invented drama, wrote themselves into a corner, they'd solve it all by bringing out a god in some kind of stage machine. He would set everything right. Deus ex machina, we call it. And that's what Moffat used to get out of the corner he painted the Doctor into. As befits a Christmas show, it ends with a prayer and a miracle. Clara prays to a crack in the wall, and the gods on the other side send out a whole mess of crackly special effects to smite the Daleks and renew the Doctor's subscription to Regeneration magazine. Steven Moffat gives Matt a preachy speech at the end that humanizes regeneration and makes it more than just a casting contrivance. We all change, he says, if you think about it. We're all different people throughout our lives, but that's okay because you have to keep moving, as long as you don't forget the people you once were. It's the sort of treacly lesson that buttons up old-style American sitcoms. It's what Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld rejected when they declared that their show would have no hugging, no learning. I will make no promises about reviewing future episodes when the 8th series begins. I've pretty much had it with Moffat's stewardship, but I don't want to end on disappointment. I'd rather pay tribute to Matt Smith's portrayal of the Doctor. Matt Smith managed to make the Doctor goofy, yet fearsome, young, yet old, manic, yet wise, exuberantly giddy and profoundly sad. Much more than David Tennant, Matt Smith's Doctor was clearly an alien, familiar with human ways, but never entirely at home among us. It was a bravura performance, a memorable and worthy Doctor, and I will miss him. No, I won't. He's on Netflix. And BBC America keeps all the modern Doctor Who episodes in constant rotation. Until next time, I'm Mickeleh. DVD Extras, Doctor Who Trivia. The limit of 12 regenerations was first mentioned in a story called The Deadly Assassin, written by Robert Holmes and featuring the 4th Doctor, Tom Baker. It's an unusual story in the canon for a number of reasons. It takes place entirely on Gallifrey. The cast is all male, all Gallifreyans, no other aliens, no humans, no companion. By the way, switching actors isn't new in films and television. We've had multiple Supermans, Batmans, and Bonds, James Bonds. 2 Dumbledores, 2 Spider-Mans, 2 Darrens. Doctor Who is one of the few franchises to write the change of actors into the plot, but it's not the only one. When they brought the new cast onto the Starship Enterprise, they wrote it into the story by calling it an alternate timeline. My favorite actor switch took place in 1953, a full decade before Doctor Who premiered. When George Burns needed to replace an actor because of a salary dispute, he simply broke the fourth wall right in the middle of a scene. He faced the camera and said, from now on, his neighbor would be played by a new actor. And the old actor, Fred Clark, exited. The replacement, Larry Keating, entered, and the scene resumed. No special effects. Brilliant. Here's Barry Aldridge's review. Here's a playlist of my previous Who reviews. If you have something you'd like to add, well, you know what to do. You know where to add it. If you want more Mickeleh, hit me up on Google+. Or subscribe. Or find me on Twitter somehow. Bye now.